Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Juan the Yarn Addict, and this is episode 76 of my podcast where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet. So if that interests you, please sit back and enjoy the show. If you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm super happy that you found me. If you're not new here and you're returning, welcome back. I'm super grateful and thankful you returned. As I mentioned, this is a podcast where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet. So if this is something you enjoy, please hit the like button, consider subscribing to my channel, and then of course leave a comment or two. I would definitely appreciate the support. So I'm going to give us a brief rundown of today's podcast episode, and then we will get started. So first and foremost, we start off with coffee talk. It is the brain of the show. Of course, we need coffee to keep us going, for those of us who drink coffee. After that, I have finished objects to share. I have some whips. I have a yarn haul from Premiere. After that, I have Happy Meal, and then I have a Q&A section. I may fuse that in earlier in the podcast. I'm not exactly sure. We're just going to go with the flow of the situation and see what happens. So that is pretty much it. Let me go ahead and grab the coffee to get us started with coffee talk. So what is on the mug? We have llamas on the mug today. Look at that. It is so nice. We see it twice. I have featured this on the channel before. It is just so nice. It has to make regular returns. On the inside, I have HEB coffee, cinnamon hazelnut, gifted to me from a viewer of the channel. Thank you very much. And of course, my creamer is caramel macchiato, sugar-free, of course, but it is all the things. I really do enjoy this coffee very, very much. So, so good. Okay, I've had my fair share of coffee before the podcast, but just in case, I will reach for it when needed. Okay, so as I mentioned, Coffee Talk is the brain of the show. It is where all of the information is, the admin portion of the show. So my show notes is exactly where all of the information is, the links. We have my Insta, the Ravelry, the Facebook group, Juan the Yarn Addict and Friends. Links to all the places are down in the show notes. Feel free to check out all of that information, including Boggy Creek. So I mentioned that on the last few podcast episodes. This one's going to be no different. So I am part of the Boggy Creek team. I have joined with Nancy from She's Got Yarn, Lynette over at Charmed Grammy Crochet, and Linan over at Nina's Knots Crochet. I am collecting blankets. I'm showcasing them on Wednesday nights, and I'm doing showcases the week after on a Tuesday in hopes to raise enough blankets for the kids for Boggy Creek. So I'm collecting them here in Delaware. We're trying to fill that truck, and once I fill that truck, I'm going to drive from Delaware to Eustis, Florida, and have these blankets donated to Boggy Creek. And I will tell you, oh my goodness, we are so far ahead of the mark. We are almost at 1,400 blankets, and we still have many weeks to go. So I am super happy and thankful. So many of you guys have donated blankets. Please keep them coming. I do have a storage unit that I'm now using to fill with bags of blankets and things. So please keep them coming. The blankets are absolutely beautiful. The kids are going to love every single one of those. So just a huge thank you to those of you guys who have donated to the channel. And also thank you to all of you guys who are watching the unboxings and the showcases on my channel, as well as Nancy over at She's Got Yarn. So I have links to all their channels in the show notes. Feel free to check all of that out. Okay, so that is it for Coffee Talk. I like to keep it short and sweet and to the point because we have all the other things to share with you, okay, including finished objects, which is where we're at now. So what am I wearing? I am wearing a finished object. So I made this, and I made this recently, I believe 3 days ago. I made this about 3 days ago, and let me stand up and show it to you. So it's a raglan. And I have ribbing down here and here. I'll just give you some detail look-sees here. So it is a double crochet front post double going all the way around. And then this is what the back looks like. Very, very nice. And then around the neck, I did one round of single crochet in each of the colors that I had here. There are 3 colors there, or is it 2? It might be just 2 colors. No, there's 3. Yep. There's 3 colors and then the cream. So the colors that I used, the yarn. So I used Lion Brand Respun Thick and Quick. There it is, 100% recycled polyester. And so yeah, so I was commissioned to do a job for JTYA Designs, and this was the leftover yarn from the commission. So I decided to make myself a raglan with it because I didn't want it to just sit and stash. Now, I didn't understand what the washing instructions were until I actually read the ball band. I didn't actually look. It's not that I didn't understand, I didn't look. So it says hand wash, lay flat to dry. So if I knew that was the washing instructions, I probably wouldn't have made a sweater with it. But here we are. I have the sweater, it's done. So this is a super bulky number 6. It suggests a 9mm crochet hook. I will tell you, I did not use a 9mm crochet hook to make this. I used a, let me see, a 9. So I used an 8mm crochet hook, a US letter L, to make this. And then I hooked down one more to a 7mm crochet hook for the neck and the wrist and the waist. So yeah, very, very nice. And I always hook down when I make raglans with chunky and super bulky yarn because the stitches have to settle. Now, I know I can make a swatch and measure the swatch, but I like to just hook down, and from experience, I know that the stitches stretch. So when you're using really thick yarn and those stitches stretch, you get windows in places that you really don't want windows. So these are intentional, obviously, because it is a raglan, but yeah, not bad. I'm very happy with it, and I do like how I have everything even. So yeah, everything is even from top to bottom, sleeve to trunk. So very, very nice. Now, once this was done, I was super happy that it was done. It's a finished object, but obviously this isn't something that I can wear all the time because I am a washer and dryer kind of guy. I don't really care to turn my kitchen sink into a wash basin for garments and things. So I plan on, recreating this with yarn that I can throw in the washer and dryer. And so I brought it here to share with you, which is going to be a future whip. I haven't started it yet, but I just wanted to showcase the yarn to kind of show you what I have in my brain to create. So let me go on a field trip down here. I have Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick, and here are the colors. I have Fisherman. Now the yarn here, I'm not sure exactly how many times I've featured it on my channel, but since I have it here, I'm going to tell you what it is. This is 80 acrylic, 20 wool. This is a super bulky number 6. This yarn also suggests a 9mm crochet hook. I will not use a 9mm crochet hook for a wearable. I always hook down one, so I will be using an 8 for this, and then a 7 for the neck and the wrist and the waist. So there is that. Let's see here. The yardage is 106 yards, 97 meters. It is 6 ounces at 170 grams. So there's that. The complementary colors that I'm pulling together with this project, I'm doing a series of tweeds. So here are the tweeds. Very, very nice. Let me just give you close-ups of each one. So this one is called Kale. Very, very nice hue of green. Love that. Next, we have Obsidian, this wonderful black. Fleck, of course. It's beautiful. And the third one here is called Barley. So these 3 with Fisherman will be the next raglan that I create. So what I'm going to do is obviously recreate this, but I would like to use some color up here in the yoke. So this part here that goes from the neck to the underarm, this whole area is called the yoke, and I made it all one color just because I like to make sure that everything is perfect. And now that I can, see what I'm doing and understand it a little better, because I tried it with a darker yarn and it just wasn't vibing for me. I'm good now. Now I can play with colors. So I'm going to use some color work in the top part, and I'm very excited about that. So stay tuned for this. This works up very, very fast. It does live true to its name, thick and quick. Now, the colors that I used for this. So I used whipped cream for this here. And then let's see here. This next colorway is pumice stone and hazelwood. So hazelwood is, where is it? Hazelwood is this color here. Pumice stone is this color here. And the brown here is called cider. So those are the 3 colors. Well, yeah, 4 colors, because that's whipped cream there. So this worked up very fast, and it was very fun to make. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait to show you this next one here with these 4 colors. Okay, so stay tuned for that. All right. So let's see. I have another finished object. This is the member squares. And so a little backstory with this finished object. About 6 months ago, give or take a few months, I asked the members of my channel to send me a square that I can make a blanket with to put on the couch, so that I had all my members with me when I went live on Sundays with my mother. And so they all sent me squares, and I put them together, and this is what we came up with. So, well, this is what I came up with. So here it is. It's pretty big. Let me see here. All right, let me just turn it around and show you the blanket. All right, here it is. Let me move the chair out of the way. Hopefully I can get it all in. So I put the border on. It's Mexicana, Red Heart Super Saver Mexicana for the border. I used a very simple V-stitch. And it's a pretty big blanket by all accounts. All the beautiful, wonderful squares here. And let me show the rest of it here. Very, very talented crocheters. Absolutely beautiful. So, as I mentioned, I received these months ago, and I've worked the squares in between all of my projects. So when I had a few moments of downtime, I sat with the squares, I put them together using a single crochet join, just like that. And then obviously, as I mentioned, Mexicana V-stitch for the border. Now I did go around the border once prior to the Mexicana. I did a single crochet chain 2 single crochet just to create a foundation for the V stitch to go into. So there's that. So it was just a nice little touch to all the colors, you know, because I said to myself, what color should I put on the border? What would be adequate for a blanket of this magnitude? So the only answer I came up with was all the colors. So all the colors, Mexicana. So there it is. So now that I've shown it in a podcast episode, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the couch in place of what is already there. And what I'll do is I'll take the blanket and I will rotate it. I intentionally placed the squares in all different directions because the blanket is too big to feature the entire thing all at once every time I'm live with Mom. So I'm gonna have to flip it around and showcase different squares each week. And so I figured if I have to turn it around, I don't want upside down squares. So why not just put it in every direction? So it's intentional. So yes, they're all my favorite squares. I don't have one favorite. They're all my favorite. And these are not all the squares. So I have a pile or two of about 50 squares that were slightly larger and some not slightly larger than what I was looking for. So I'm going to create another, not blanket, but maybe a lapgan or a throw to put around the recliner in the squirrel's nest, because right now I have the squirrel blanket and it's absolutely wonderful, but I figured why not change it up every now and then and put this other make on the recliner so that all of the squares are in the squirrel nest. So to my members, if you don't see your square here, do not worry. I do have another make on the way. So there's that. All right. So thank you to all my members who sent me squares. I'm super happy and excited to finally have each and every one of you guys with me on the live. Okay. So there's that. Next, I have a pile of finished objects here right next to the camera I'm super excited about. Now, I've shown these on the most recent live, but it bears worth repeating. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I designed a shawl on the fly using the wheel, and we came up with an asymmetrical, and I believe I spoke to this. We used Premier Puzzle and the colorway Kickball. So all the ends are sewn in. It's completely done. It's very loose. I love this. I used an 8mm crochet hook for this, or 7 or 8. I can't remember right now. I do have it written down. I think it was a 7 actually. So I'm showing you guys this because I made a complimentary piece to this. So this is what I've also shown on the live, a hat. So I made a hat with a cuff. It's just your standard hat, joined at the top using Premier Puzzle Kickball, and voila. I love it. It's so good. There we go. Just line everything up. Very, very nice. Now, this pattern here is not the same as this. See, this was a challenge as part of the wheel. I created a 4-row repeat with this. There are 4 different stitches here. What are the 4 stitches? They're very basic stitches. I have double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, and twins in a stitch. Very, very simple, fast, fun, and easy. So I will have a tutorial for this and a matching scarf. So this will be the newest addition to the It's Just A. So last year I did It's Just a Hat. This year I'm going to be doing It's Just a Duo, a hat and scarf set. So we're going to do this hat and the matching scarf. And as I mentioned, the tutorial will be rolling out. I am teasing it. I think I teased it on Sunday, but it's already recorded. I just have to turn it on. I'm just waiting for the right time to do that because I have all the other things that I have to focus on. So anyway, long story short, this will be available for you guys to watch, enjoy, and make. So there's that. This is so warm. It's so nice. I really, really like this. I almost want to make a pom-pom and put it at the top. And I'm not really a pom-pom kind of guy, but why not? It just looks fun, you know? So good. I love Premier Puzzle, by the way. If you've been watching me, you know how much I love my Premier Puzzle. All 35 colorways, and then the solids and the shimmers. I just love that yarn. It's my favorite yarn. Okay. So there's that. And I have one more to show you guys. So I made this. So I decided to take Premier Puzzle Sudoku, run that together with Kickball, and this is what we have. So Sudoku ball. Sudoku ball hat, right? Very, very nice. So I took my favorite yarn and ran two colors together. So this is the same pattern as what you just saw. Same pattern, same everything. It's a lot bigger, but that is okay. We love that for us. And the cuff is a lot larger. It's intentional because when you're using really, really thick yarn, you have holes. And so when you double it up, it covers the holes. So, and it's twice as nice. Look at that. I mean, it just looks warm. You know what I mean? It's so great. It's so good. I love this. Now all I need to do is make a super scarf with the same pattern, you know, very thick, very big, to match this. It would be perfect. Stay tuned, because look, I have them right here. I plan on doing it. It's so much fun. I love working with this yarn. Did I mention that? I just love this yarn. Okay, anyway, so that wraps up the finished objects. All right, so let's move on to the whips. All right, so I have two here that I would like to share with you. I do have several other whips, but these are the two that I'd just like to share with you today. So this here is a blanket that I am creating, or I'm making. I've already created it. I'm just finishing it out. So this is called Cornerstone Pathways. It's beautiful. Look at that. So the yarn that I am using is Huron Jumbo Ombre and Faded Jeans. So this square here is just one skein. It's one entire skein, 595 yards. And I used a 6mm crochet hook for this. Very, very nice. Now, I laid this flat. It lays perfectly square. There's nothing out of shape. But for some reason, when I hold it, the weight of it kind of like pulls it down. But that's fine. I've counted every stitch. It's exactly as it should be. And there you have it. So I'm going to put this second skein with this blanket. I'm going to see how big it is, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to just continue working this up. It is a 4-round repeat. I do have a recorded tutorial that I plan on turning on. I just want to make sure that the members of my channel receive the pattern first. So the members of my channel receive a free pattern every single month. I'm constantly writing patterns, and so every month they get a free pattern, and this will be their free pattern for the month of December. So once they receive that, then I will release the tutorial on my channel for everyone to just watch and enjoy for both left and right-handed crocheters. So there's that. So the next whip I have here is a shawl. It's called the Meadowwood shawl. Now, the tutorial is already on the channel. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. It's really, really nice. It's so great. I can't speak enough of it. So here is the shawl. Let me just turn it around. Here we go. So here it is. This is the Meadowwood shawl. It is a 2-row setup with a 2-row repeat, and there's tons of texture. It's super, super nice. I counted every stitch, and it falls right into place like a puzzle. It's very, very easy to work up. So I used Huron Jumbo in the colorway Seashell. This was 2 skeins only 2 skeins, and it worked up very, very, very big, which is great. So that's what you get with 2 skeins. Now for the border here, I have a 2-row border, and it's just sort of like supersized picots, but not really, because you're not going into the same stitch. Normally with picots, if I'm not mistaken, you'll go like single crochet, chain 3, and then go back into that same stitch to close it off. Something's telling me there are several different kinds of picots, so I don't want to lay claim to that statement. So maybe this is just one of the many different picots that are out there, which is perfectly fine. But the very last row here is 2 singles, chain 4, 2 singles in every space there. And for the apex, which is the point, that's kind of what it looks like there. It just goes around. Very, very nice. So anyway, I was so excited about this. I went back to Joann's and I picked up another colorway, and I know I showcased this, but I'm not exactly sure where I showcased this, but I'm showing you guys here. So I'm making it again. So here it is. Now this colorway is called Carrera Marble, and I have this much left from the first skein, and I do have the second skein here. So I intend on making this the same exact size as the first one that you just saw. And so why, you ask, why am I making a second one? Well, I have a milestone approaching. And so one of my many ideas was to gift a winner of a milestone giveaway one of my makes. So I'm not sure exactly which make it's going to be, so I'm making 2 of everything until I decide which make is going to be a part of which milestone. But I definitely would love to have my makes in my viewers' hands. And so what better way to do that than to give it away during a milestone giveaway? So yes, again, if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing. Help me get there. All right, so there's that. So this is the front. Let me see if we can see the texture there. There we go. Now, at first glance, it looks like a shell, but a shell, to my understanding, is 5 doubles or more. This is just 4 double crochets, so I'm considering this a cluster of double crochets. And this is the back. Very, very nice. So if it is a shell, it's a shell. If it's not a shell, it's not a shell. But it's 4 double crochets. That's what you're seeing there. So I love this yarn. I can't speak enough about it. I have an entire section above my head right here. It's all Caron 1 pound. I just love the yarn. I just love Caron yarn. Okay. So there is that. And I believe that is it for whips. Just 2. All right. Going on another field trip. Okay. There's that. All right. So next we have the yarn buy from Premier. So Premier Week happened, I think, about a week or 2 ago. About 2 weeks ago it happened. And I made 3 purchases. So I've already showcased the first 2. Here is the third one. It is a smaller one, but still good nonetheless. And so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I haven't opened it yet. It's been a while, so I can't remember exactly what I purchased, but something is telling me as soon as I open this, I'm going to remember what I got. So let's see. No, I don't remember this. Okay, so here it goes. All right. Oh wait, yes I do. So I got a sleeve of Premier Anti-Pilling DK colors. I believe I had this before. I think I bought this last year, didn't use it, and I put it in mystery boxes. But the price was so nice I had to get it. So this is Premier Anti-Pilling DK colors. Let me just take one out and share it with you. It is very soft and squishy. Look at that. Very nice. So DK colors. The colorway is called Cobblestone. This is a light 3-weight yarn. They suggest a 4mm crochet hook. This is 383 yards, 350 meters. It's 5 ounces at 140 grams. So nice. Perfect for wearables, perfect for lots of things. Anti-pilling yarn is so great because with friction, you get the pilling. This, you don't get it, so it's good for wear and tear. So there's that. Next, we have Anti-Pilling DK colors and the colorway Moss. Look at that green. It's so green. I love it. Okay. So let's go ahead and pop that out. Look at that. Moss. That is so good. Same specs, same everything. But yeah, Moss. All right. Let's get that there. This is going to go very quickly. This is DK colors in the colorway Newspaper. Look at that. Newspaper. Black, white, and red all over. Newspapers. So good. I think that's why they put the red in it, right? What's black, white, and red all over? Newspapers. It's nice to know there's a sense of humor in the yarn, you know? So, this sleeve here is called Nimbus. I'm thinking clouds, I'm thinking the sky. And I think whoever came up with the colorway was also thinking the same. The clouds, the sky, very light, airy, fluffy, super, super nice. Love that. This would look amazing for a baby blanket. Let's see. Last but not least, I have some DK colors in, is this Harvest? In Autumn. So I intentionally picked this up because I had a sleeve already. I have a project in mind and I needed another sleeve. So this is another project that I'm working behind the scenes. And so I do have the other sleeve right here. So this was a necessity for a project. The rest of it was just stash building for future projects, future inspiration and things. So there is that. All right, so that is it for my premier yarn buy. I am an affiliate, or we are now called Alliance Partners. I do have a link in the show notes if you're interested in using it. It doesn't cost you anything, but it definitely helps out the channel and all the postage that I put out for my giveaways. So feel free to check that link out for all the steals and all the deals, okay? So there is that. Now, next, instead of hopping over to Happy Meal, I'm going to do a very quick Q&A. I chose 2 questions from my videos. In the studio, there's a button that I can push. It's called Questions, and any and all questions that anyone asks in any of the videos comes into that page. And so I typically answer questions from there, but then I decided to pull some and talk to you guys about it because I think this is a fun addition to the podcast. So the first question I received is from Susie, and Susie asks, have you ever been tempted to make a temperature blanket? So in the very beginning of my channel, within the first 5 or so videos, I showcased my temperature blanket. So I made one for the year that I was born, which was 1979. And so I researched the temperatures of every single day for that entire year. I wrote everything down on a sheet of graph paper, and I assigned colors to the temperatures, and I made hexagons. And I put all the hexagons together, and it's larger than a king-size blanket. So feel free to check that out. I believe it's within the first 5 videos of my channel. I may showcase that blanket again because yes, I am going to be doing another temperature blanket. I am going to be doing it behind the scenes. I'm not going to showcase it, actually, let me change my mind on that. I may just show you guys as a whip, like an ongoing whip, instead of just hiding it, because it is something that I am working on, and it is something that I'm going to be taking pride in because it is a long-term project. So I may show random updates to that project, but yes, I am planning on doing it. I'm curious to know what that's going to look like now compared to the temperature blanket that I made a few years ago that I showcased on the channel early on. So stay tuned for that. Let me see. Pamela S asks, is the Premier Vivid a 4-weight yarn? So yes, it is. And I have some right here. This is Premier Sweet Roll Vivid, and it is a medium 4-weight yarn. And they suggest a 5.5mm crochet hook, although you can very easily use a 6mm hook with this, and it will work up beautifully. And they have amazing colorways, and I have a link in the show notes. And I have another colorway right here. This is called Primary. It's absolutely wonderful, and you can make tons of things with this. So feel free to check all of that out. But yes, it is a 4-weight yarn. Okay, so those were the questions, just 2. That's it. All right, so next we have Happy Mail. I have 2 pieces of Happy Mail. One is a card. So the card here comes to me from Yvonne. Let's see here. Yvonne sends me a Happy Thanksgiving card. Very, very nice. Peanuts. Okay, and on the inside it says, hello, Juan and Wilma. So it is addressed to Mama Wilma as well. Mama Wilma is my mother. So it says, hello, Juan and Wilma. This time of year, I think of everything I am thankful for. The first thing I think of is good people like you in my life who make me happy. I love your YouTube show, and I hope you both have a wonderful coming year. Yvonne. And it says on the other side, wishing you an extra big helping of happiness. So thank you so much, Yvonne. I definitely appreciate the card. I'm going to keep it in tow to keep me in the holiday spirit. So there's that. Thank you so much. The next piece of Happy Mail is right here. I did crack it open, and there is a note in here. This comes to me from Regina. Regina says, Juan, this is some vintage yarn that was from my late aunt. I hope you can find a good use for it. Not sure about the cream colored one. I don't care for the feel of this yarn, but hate to throw it away. I enjoy watching your channel. You are so calm, upbeat, and happy. We need more of that in this world. Thank you, Regina. Well, thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for the yarn. If you don't know this about me, I love vintage yarn. I'm working several projects up with it, and I also share it with the viewers of the channel. I don't keep it all. If you've seen some of my live streams, I do what's called show and share. So I show the yarn and I share it. We put it in 2 piles, and at the end of the month I do drawings and I give away the yarn. So let's dig into the package here. So the first thing that she sends me is Karen Wintuck and the Craft Depot for $1.37. Oh, that's an old tag. So the colorway here is Dark Country Peach. Very, very nice. I believe it's an eye hook. Yes, it's an eye hook. They don't, well, back in the day, you didn't really see millimeters. It was letters. So letter I. So there's that. Next we have Sayel yarn. The colorway here is called Primrose. I'm not sure about that. Primrose to me would be like a peachy pink, but I see a pale yellow for sure, pale yellow. And I understand what Regina's saying about the feel. This is not everyone's jam. It does feel a certain way, and you have to be okay with using this kind of yarn. It's abrasive, you know, so I'm totally okay with it. Next we have, what color is this? This is Avocado. I love this colorway. Look at that, avocado. Next, oh yeah, you see that? That screams 1970s. Now all I need is some terracotta. What do you know? It's not terracotta, but close second, right? Look at that. Wow, that's so cool. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same kind of Sayel yarn. It looks, the fibers look alike. It feels exactly alike. Yeah, so Sayel yarn. Let's see, we have some more of that same colorway. Actually, no, we don't. This might just be the terracotta, maybe, or a burnt sienna, like a burnt orange. What do you guys think? Like a burnt orange, this top one? It might be. Next, we have, I want to say, not a pale yellow. I don't know. I don't want to say dull yellow, but it's yellow, of course. Very, very nice. And this is not that, for sure. So I don't know exactly what this is. It's not the Sayel yarn. It's not the Karen Wintuck yarn. But it does feel good. I do like how this feels. I don't know why I enjoy the abrasive yarns. When people say, I can't use Red Heart because it's too rough, I actually gravitate towards that. I don't know why, I just do. Next we have Orlon Acrylic. And this is super, super soft, but in an abrasive sort of way. I know, how can it be soft and abrasive? It's just, it's very fluffy looking. See? It's very fluffy looking. And all of this is worsted weight yarn, 4-ply, and of course these vintage yarns don't really offer yardage. Most vintage yarns do not. This colorway here is called Fisherman. That's super, super nice. So that is the yarn. Thank you so much, Regina, for this wonderful yarn. It's absolutely beautiful. I will put it to great use, as I have been with all of the other yarns. And if I do come across, you know, one of the skeins or two of the skeins that I have no need for, I will share it with the viewers of the channel in an upcoming live stream. So that is all I have for my podcast. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, as I mentioned in the beginning, don't forget to hit the thummies, leave a comment or two, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. So that is all from me for now, and until the next one, take care, friends. Bye.